Hi everyone, Dawn Marie here. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to bring you the final part of my series for the Simon Says Stamp card kit, Thanks and Leaves. Okay, I did three. This will be my third part. So as you see here, I'm showing you my supplies, and I am going to use the 4-bar envelopes. That's the whole process that I'm working on here. I've never made a 4-bar card before ever, so I have no idea what I'm doing with it. So I had to measure out how big a 4-bar is by the envelope, and of course the card's a little bit smaller than the envelope, so I came up with the measurements 4 3/4 by 3 1/2 for the card. So you see in my process here, this is my process. I use the stamps to map my place, and sometimes I'll actually stamp it too on paper, not on my actual cardstock, but I'm going to use my final two butterflies as well. Now I started out using the leaves, my many leaves that I had stamped out from my previous kit. I started using those, and you'll see that. But it basically, they ended up being maps too. I didn't use them leaves, which was a big waste because, you know, I had them all, but I'll end up doing some heat embossing for these cards. So I made 4 of them. I had 2 4-bar envelopes from previous kit. I'm not sure which kit it was, but they've given us envelopes in the past, the small ones, you know, the 4-bar ones. So I had 2 more, so I pulled those out and I made 4 cards. I figured I'd make it simple. So on this particular card, I'm going to showcase the sentiment again and put some leaves on the top. So you'll see that. But you see in my process, like I said. And that's how I'm going to build that stamp. I mean, I'm going to build that that card. So I'm pushing my leaves aside because now at this point I think I've already decided I'm going to heat emboss. So I heat embossed all my sentiments. What I did was I took a My Favorite Thing stitch rectangle die. I think it's the 3rd one in or the 4th one in. I'm making a smaller panel for the 4-bar cards, obviously. And I'm going to stamp lower to the bottom of that panel and heat emboss. And I think I am using Simon Says Stamp. Nope, am I using that? Simon Says Stamp Antique. No, I'm not. I'm using hot chocolate. Nouveau hot chocolate on this particular card. I use different ones. I think this is the only one that's not either a gold or a silver, I think. So I'll go ahead and I'll clean up the embossing. I think I used my embossing buddy. I must have. I usually do. So yeah, I'll go ahead and clean it off. I think that one gave me a pain in the neck. I thought I cut all this extra out. Apparently not. So you got to suffer through my cleaning up my embossing mess. So I will, yeah, and I made another mess. I have to wipe it first. That's just the way I roll. I wipe, I wash my hands, I wipe things. I'm like OCD in that regard, and to the point where my hands are so dry, I'm raw already, and it's barely winter yet. Because I always have my hands in water. I'm always wiping stuff or washing my hands or something. I think it's some kind of OCD, but maybe it's just some excessively clean. like like when I see people show their craft-tastrophes, as they call them, I don't understand how that works, because I don't work that way. I clean as I go, or I'll make a mess, but I clean it when I'm finished because I can't deal with having a mess on my craft table. I've just recently got to the point where I leave some stuff on my desk that I'm like currently working in, and usually I'll close it all up and put it away until the next day, and then I'll pull it all back out. But I've just started leaving it out for the next day if it's something I'm working on. So I'm going to back this with this green paper that you see, this fall pattern paper pack I got from Echo Park. pretty. It's a pretty, I have these paper packs. I have this bin full of paper packs and I barely use paper. And I love it. You know, I see it, I'm like, oh, I gotta have that paper. I buy the paper, and then like I've bought four paper packs for Christmas. I'm determined for Christmas I'm going to use pattern paper. That's all there is to it. So you'll see that, hopefully. Hopefully you'll see me sticking to my guns. So I am taking, see the leaf that's under the silver leaf? I never even used that for my last cards. I'm surprised. Anyway, you saw how that one was built. Now I'm on to the next one. So I usually do it assembly style, and I had them all ready to go. I just now am assembling them. So this one is Family is Everything, embossed in silver. And I'm using a butterfly on this one. These butterflies are so beautiful. I love them. I'm buying another pack. I have to have them because I was going to hoard one or two and I didn't hoard any. I used them all because I just love them. So I'm going to buy some more. But anyway, yes, I'm using this leafy branch. I embossed in gold, Simon Says Stamp Antique Gold. And I will jut it out on either side of the butterfly, which I popped up with some foam tape dimensionals. Those dimensionals are nice, but they're a pain when you have fingernails, especially when they're fake fingernails. They stick to it. Everything, I have to use tweezers for everything now, even though my nails aren't all that long. I can't pick things up with them. I don't know, it's crazy. So I have to use the tweezers for everything. So there's that card. Now on to my next card, and that's the way it's going to look, this particular card. Yeah, I like these cards. I thought they were really pretty and elegant. I'm going to make them into a set. They are a set, but I'm going to put them in a gift box that I'm going to make with my envelope punch board. I made some last year. I made little gift sets for my sister-in-laws. And I'm going to put them in a gift set to give to somebody for Christmas. I haven't yet decided who. But, yeah. So, I was going to make the gift box on this particular video, but I ended up forgetting. And I just thought of it when I looked at it. Go figure. So I'm in the middle of mapping out my cards. When I get a stamp set, I usually like to make a card sketch of it, different card sketch of it, ideas of it. I learned that trick from Christina Warner. Okay, so now to stop that for a minute, I stamped out some leaves with the aged mahogany, and I took my Prismacolor pencil and I'm going to enhance the color like I did with my previous card on my previous video. Yeah, so I'll show you only one leaf because, you know, it's just coloring over top of color already. But yeah, so I made a sketchbook, a card sketchbook. I put measured squares in the sketchbook, so I have 4 squares per page, and in those squares I drew squares, and I map out what my stamp set's going to look like. Now it's very rudimentary. I cannot draw. I try to draw all the time. I want to draw, but I can't draw. So it's got a bunch of stick figures and stuff in it to you know, to demonstrate what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, my drawing's terrible. But I take notes on products I plan on using, the way I'm going to decorate the card, stuff like that. So I've done a bunch of them because I've been collecting Christmas sets because I'm going to do a bunch of Christmas cards. So yeah, that's what I've been doing today. And I just remembered I had to do a voiceover. So you're lucky you're getting me in the middle of my work process. Okay, so now I lined all my leaves up. I'm going to put Thankfully You're Mine underneath that with a piece of Simon Says Stamp cardstock embossed with alabaster. No, actually it was glacier ice or something like that from Nuvo. The products are all going to be in the description anyway. And I mat it with a piece of Schoolhouse Red from Simon Says Stamp as well. I tried the paper pack for this and I didn't like any of the colors for it. I just liked the red. So the cards that you've seen, that see the cards, you'll see them in a second. I'm going to show them. Yeah. The ones that don't have any mat behind them, they will have mats in the pictures. See, one of them has a mat already, and the other one will too, in a different picture, I think. I lifted up the panel and I put some gold cardstock behind it, gold metallic cardstock behind it. That one is mustard seed from Gina K, that cardstock. So here's a close-up look of all my cards. And yeah, I liked making them. They were cute. I used some pretty pink Posh sparkling clear sequins. Okay, so now here's a bonus card. I wanted to use one of those SNARKY sentiments, and if you're a follower of mine from Instagram, you know, you've seen a picture of this already. I wanted to use one of the tags. I was determined to use at least one thing of everything in that kit, and I did. So you can't really see it here, but I did some ink blending. It's so light with tumbled glass. I should have used a darker color, or I should have did it darker anyway. But there's clouds behind them deers. Deer and moose. So anyway, the snarky saying was that moment, okay, how's it go? The moment when you hear someone say your best friend is their best friend, and you're like, no, or something like that. So I was like, how do you put this snarky sentiment with leaves? It doesn't work. I don't understand that snarky sentiments with the leaves from this kit. It didn't belong in this kit, I didn't think. So I was trying to come up with three different characters, or three people or something, but I wanted to use all Simon Says stamp, except that moose is not Simon Says stamp. That's a free with 60 I got from My Favorite Things. But those deer are from Simon Says stamp. And I figured they were the two friends right there, and the moose was the interloper who was trying to make their best friend theirs. But and I put thankfully you're mine underneath of that. So what does it say? It says that moment when you hear someone else call your best friend their best friend, and you're like, no. I thought that was hysterical. And that is my card. I think I put some white Blizzard Nouveau crystal drops on here too. Yes, I do. I'm not sure why I went with those as opposed to what I usually do, which is the crystal clear sequins, but you know. And that's it. I'll show you some close-up photos of my various cards. The supplies I use have been listed in the description below, and they'll also be on my blog. Leave me a comment with any questions or suggestions, or just say hello. I'd love to hear from you. I'll be back with a new video on maybe Monday, but definitely I'm going to have one on Thursday, because that's when I'm having my stamp collaboration with Witchinary and Jamie Madison. So here's I think you'll see the close-up photos now with the backings there. I hope you enjoyed today's card using this stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, Thanks and Leaves, the card kit. And if you did, why not go ahead and give it a thumbs up? Also, you could subscribe if you're not already. I'd love to have your support. I appreciate you watching. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye now.